transformation booth, which all I can think of transformation booth right now is it's a phone booth where Superman will walk in and it's just like come out. Clark Kent walks in, Superman walks out, and that's what I've imagined. But who knows? Maybe it's something else. Euclid. Okay, 2 Euclids in a row. Now, yesterday we had 3 space ones in a row. Doctor Who. Well, isn't the phone booth more like a transportation device? I haven't watched Doctor Who, so if I'm wrong, you can roast me all you want. Well, I'm thinking of like the old classic Superman, where he had to go to a phone booth to like change himself and then fly out. SCP-1961 is stored in Research Bay 12 at Site 22 on the standard keycard level security. SCP-1961 is only to be used for experiments on D-Class personnel with the approval of Level 3 or higher research staff. Conversion of other Foundation staff is suspended by O5 order, as are requests for SCP-1961 usage by any non-Foundation organization regardless of clearance level. Speaking of Superman, why didn't any? Any what? Any what, Zeno? What are you trying to say? Did you die? Did you like get assassinated? Because I mean, if you did, it makes sense. You were talking about a lot of stuff about cannibalism yesterday, so I imagine the FBI agents finally got to you. Any person proceeded through SCP-1961 is considered an instance of -1. Merged instances of -1 become -2. Containment staff should be aware that while SCP-1961 itself is safe, -1 and -2 are Euclid class. That's actually that's actually cool, because it's rarely talked about which part of an SCP, if it's multiple parts, which part of it is considered like safer than the other ones. So this is, I think, one of the first times I got to read that, like, oh yeah, -1 is Euclid, but the actual SCP in itself is safe. If it is necessary to terminate a specimen of either -1 or -2, fire or dissolution and acid are the recommended means. Personnel guarding -1 or -2 will therefore be issued flamethrowers. So speaking of Superman, why didn't anyone connect the dots of Clark Kent and Superman? I'm on the FBI hit list. I mean, there's multiple reasons. The original reason is because Clark Kent actually has a different voice. He on purpose makes his voice sound very like meekly and like whimpery, and he's also like he's hunching himself over. He's trying to like basically like deflate to like look less like Superman. And not only that, but also like the whole like, there's no way Superman would work for the newspaper company. Like, it's like people were so oblivious to the idea that a superhero of that caliber would work. Work for a newspaper company out of all things. But yeah, like the original reason is that like he would do like very subtle disguises that just made it. It's not just the glasses. Like he would change his body in such a way that like people would just never guess it was him. Of course, as a comic reader, visually they didn't do that much with it. They just kept his body the same. But in subtext, it does explain that he's changing how he makes himself look. But yes, but every time Superman is there, Clark is gone. That has been also explained a couple times, where like somebody would disguise himself, like Batman, for example. Like there was like Superman clones. There were like moments like where Superman and Batman would switch roles, because like Batman has like a disguise kit and all that stuff. And so there was just like multiple times where Clark is around and a Superman is flying past them, and it's like, oh yeah, it can't be Clark. Superman's right there. So there has been multiple moments where like people are like, yeah, it can't be him. I got way off tangent. -1 subjects are required to wear Type 47-B containment suits when in presence of Foundation staff. Other instances of -1 or any instance of -2, unless direct exposure is required for experimentation. D-Class personnel converted to -1 are exempt from monthly termination, but subject to all other D-Class restrictions and should be considered a higher escape risk. Dash 2 specimens require greater strength in proportion to their size, and larger subjects should be handled with appropriate caution. Converter Foundation staff should be considered of questionable loyalty and subject to Security Protocol 10-C. Instances of Dash 1 and Dash 2 are contained in a standard maintenance restraint area for live specimens. Okay, here we go. Description. SCP-1961 is a 2.5 times 1.5 times 1.5 meter mirrored booth composed of wood, steel, and expunged. It is designed to emit a mixture of and radiation and concentrate the rays on a human subject. Previously injected with expunged and processed SCP-2408-1 blood. See document 1961-P-3 for synthesis and administration instructions. Use of SCP-1961 is fatal to subjects who have not been prepared with the appropriate injections. SCP-1961 processing is not reversible. Okay, the intent of the procedure is to give the treated subject the power to modify his or her physical form at will and maintain its change voluntarily for an indefinite period. So it is the Superman booth. The SCP-1961 procedure is only partially successful. Treated subject, hereafter referred to as Dash-1, adopt an amorphous form composed of the original mass, converted to a substance resembling protoplasm. That is not the Superman booth. Despite the lack of recognizable vital organs, Dash-1 subjects retain their intelligence and personality in the new form. Dash-1 subjects can learn to shape themselves into any form that converses mass. This is not an innate skill, and there is wide variance in talent among individual subjects. Approximately 40% have eventual success in simulating a human form. I used to not like the containment procedures because I thought they were just weird and I wanted to get to the SCP, but now I like them. Containment procedures, when I first started, it was also weird for me. I was like, why do you start with how it's being contained first and not with what it is? Like that was weird to me at first, but then I kind of liked it because it was like, it hinted on what it could be throughout the containment procedure, and then I was like, oh, what is this thing that requires this? It's kind of like the idea if you were to walk through a hallway and you see like a door and there's like 5 security guards there, and you just go like, what's in there? What do you guys have in there? And then like whoever the guy to like explains to you what is in there. He's like, okay, yeah, I can see why you have 5 security guards. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I kind of I like it now as well. At first I was a bit like, this is a weird way to write it, but now I do like it. Dash-1 subjects may assume the form of non-human or even anomalous beings. However, they gain no additional strength or special abilities when doing so. So okay, they could become an animal, but they don't get the, like, they could become an eagle, but that doesn't mean they can fly. Form conversion is physically tiring, and Dash-1 subjects have not been able to retain human form for a period longer than 4 hours, requiring at least 8 hours in amorphous form before another attempt can be made. Subjects are also likely to lose cohesiveness when angry, stalled, or forced to concentrate deeply on another task. Okay, so they can just like, they can stay in a shape, but once they like lose focus, it's just like just flat again. Dash-1 subjects are typically contained within a waterproof environmental suits. This prevents unauthorized interaction between specimens, as well as allowing subjects to maintain a somewhat human appearance and a fully human appearance by learning to convert the head and the hands. It almost sounds like when the day breaks, when the sun rays hit you and the human, it just becomes like a slime mass. Because like at the end it does say like, you don't want to mix the humans, so they can become like a massive blob. And there's like at least 2 other SCPs I read that where like humans become a blob and then mix together. So this move that makes you control yourself. Control yourself. If it's mostly like you can like shapeshift from what this sounds. Well, it's not like shapeshifting with the benefits of whatever you shapeshifted into. There you go. Dash 1 subjects can merge with each other to form larger amorphous forms, designated Dash 2, like you can shape yourself at will. Yeah, exactly, yeah. The merger process is voluntary, but apparently not reversible. It is unknown how many individuals can merge into a Dash 2 colony. The largest under containment has... Theoretically, there is no limit to the size of a Dash 2 specimen. Dash 2 colonies lose the ability to transform into recognizable forms and either cannot or will not communicate with Foundation personnel. Hey, there she is. Hello, Nuke. Did you send me a message on Discord just now? Slow down. Oh, you might fall asleep. Okay, gotcha. Communicate with Dash 1 subject can silently communicate with Dash 2 specimens by unknown means and claim that Dash 2 specimens are in a state of communion and retain aspects of their intelligence. A complex set of relationships between Dash 1 and Dash 2 subjects have developed, poorly understood by Foundation researchers. Dash 1 subjects have been notably uncooperative in explaining this aspect of their development. What if -1 people and... Oh, people collab. -1 people. I may have not read the -1 one. But I did read the 011. So, Nuke, the only thing you missed was an SCP where people, like the Foundation, have seen that on the planet Neptune there are like messages being spelled out. Like English messages. And it comes across as very like, take me back. Please take me back. I miss you. I love you. I'm hungry. I need to be taken care of kind of messages. So, and now we're reading a booth, which just says a mirrored booth, that makes you into a form of a mass that can shapeshift into whatever. But even though you can shapeshift, doesn't mean you get the benefits of whatever you shapeshift into. You just become a slime mass, like a flesh mass. And if you mix yourself with other flesh masses, you become a bigger, amorphous form, as it says here. I just explained to Nuke what you missed out. Due to the lack of blood and vital organs, both Dash 1 and Dash 2 specimens are substantially more resistant than humans to trauma and hostile environments. Although initially developed for espionage activities, Dash 1 specimens have been under consideration for both combat activities and exploration of areas difficult for humans to safely access. If they can be adequately controlled, Dash 2 specimens may be suitable for manual labor in similar environments. Analysis, by the way, yeah, Ditto SCP is basically what it is, but like, unlike Ditto, they don't get to copy anything what they transform into. So if they were to shapeshift into any animal, they don't get the benefit of that animal. Like if they transform into a fish, they don't get to breathe underwater. Into a bird, they don't get to fly. A quadrupedal, you know what I mean, 4-legged animal, they don't get to run faster, nothing like that. They just take the form of it, but they don't get anything out of it. Analysis of Dash 1 and Dash 2 cellular structure suggests specimens should be capable of reproduction through binary fission. However, no specimen in Foundation custody has been observed doing so. Addendum. Oh, what a surprise. I'm lost. You read too damn fast. Okay, I'll slow down. I'm slow down. Addendum. SCP-1961 was developed by the research group with semi-official access to certain Foundation materials. Object was transferred to Foundation control after the results were deemed too dangerous to be used by Redacted. Ongoing research has been monitored by Redacted, and continued Foundation control has been in dispute for years. For O5 eyes only, message from Dr. former director of SCP-1961 research to the O5 committee. From Dr. to O5, subject SCP-1961. I am well aware that the O5 committee will do as it pleases, and I can only make suggestions, but I hope these will be taken under serious consideration. I request immediate transfer from SCP-1961 and recommend that all research on it be halted. If you wish to do what is best for humanity, SCP-1961 should be destroyed, and all specimens of -1 and -2 terminated. General would have an army of -1 units, supported by teams of -2. He is insane. -1 specimens are not spies, super soldiers, or personnel given useful powers. They will turn against us at the first opportunity. The Foundation should not have helped create them, and we are damned if we continue. Fair enough. Like, you should. It's crazy that like sometimes when they do like a couple tests with SCPs, that like some of the agents are like, we could use this out in the field. Come on, what's the harm? Still can't believe that. Oh no, I had this shirt a while. It's another wolf shirt, but yeah, thank you. If you look at it from the there we go, from the front, and from the back, yeah. I love myself some good wolf shirts. Let me move this a little bit further back. There we go. But it's not my new one. It's not my new one. Yeah, even yesterday we had like a. Well, what do you expect? What do you think, Nuke? Artist Roach Boy is making art in your stomach, but your body twists into a flesh abomination. I think they would still be fine at the end. They still be like. I got my pocket dimension space here. So, I'm good. As I was saying, yesterday we had an SCP where they were like, oh, we can use this to promote ourselves. We can get a promotion, a raise. So yeah, it's always wild when the Foundation themselves, like people from the Foundation, are like, well, who's going to blame me if I just quickly use it? who's going to? I mean, it's right there. What are you going to do? What you going to fire me? You guys need all the help you can get.